back to Mirror and Thread. The holidays are officially over and we've got all of our Christmas decor taken down, and I was in the mood to refresh our house a little bit, especially our living room shelves. We have these big built-in shelves and we had put holiday decor in them, fall decor in them, and then somehow when we took all that out, they were basically completely empty. So I used some tips or some pictures from Joanna Gaines and some of her things that she puts in her Magnolia stuff as inspiration for making them look nice, and I'm very pleased with how they turned out. So I'm gonna run through all the things that I got. This is all from Target's new spring line, and I will link everything in the video description. So actually, I guess I lied because these baskets were technically from Walmart and I got these last year, and these are the only things that stayed. So everything else I kind of switched out, or I think I kept maybe a couple things but added them in different ways. The only things that stayed were the big, huge baskets on the bottom, which I feel like adds a lot to the built-ins, and it's a nice way to take up space, and I really like the shape of these, so I'll link these for you too. This came in a 2-pack of these little wall art prints. I love this kind of gold coppery frame. I feel like it worked well with our color palette, and I liked that they already had something in them, so I didn't have to print my own photo or anything like that. But these are actually wall art, so they have where you can hang them on a wall, but they also have the little holder here so that they can be propped really easily as well. I actually ended up getting most of these things from the new Hearth and Hand line, which is Joanna Gaines' line at Target, and I wasn't even intending on doing that. I was just kind of using her pictures as inspiration, but the spring line is so good. So this is a little trivet, and I love to use these things for decor. We have one near our coffee bar that I put like coffee, creamer, that kind of thing, K-cup pods on. I've used them in the kitchen for like olive oil dispensers, that kind of thing. But I feel like they just give a little bit of an extra dimension to the shelves with having them be a little bit taller. And then I put this great big candle over the top. Again, kind of using that gold coppery lid to kind of incorporate that color scheme again. And these actually do smell amazing. I probably won't be lighting this where it's at, but I may pull it off and light it on this bottom shelf here a couple times. This is bergamot and it smells so fresh and clean. This is something I didn't realize before going in store, but Target has all kinds of great like artificial plants in like the Hearth and Hand section, the threshold section, but they also have these real plants. So all of these are real succulents, and I was very excited about them. They were all already potted, and I love all the different little ceramic pots. They're so unique. This one has some like taupe color, and then this one is kind of like an olive green, which just gives a little bit different color as well. And then this came in, I think, like a sage green, and this color in a bright white. So these are really great just to add a little bit of color to your shelves. We ended up making actually a second trip to Target for this tray. We had one that was like stone colored, and it was a little bit shorter and not quite as long, and it just looked really bare in the shelf. So this ended up being almost exactly the size wall to wall of our shelf, which ended up being perfect. I really liked that it had the mixed materials here, the metal with the wood, and I liked that it was a darker wood, so it popped a little bit more on our white built-ins. But this would be really cute like on a coffee table, in the kitchen as well. All right, this next shelf had some of my very favorite pieces that we got. First of all, this little framed art. I love the frame on this, and I love the art print. This is all already in there, and it was very, very affordable. It looks kind of vintage and almost kind of antique-y, and I just thought the colors were really beautiful. The size of this worked really, really well in a shelf too, and then of course it does have the option to hang it in the back if you preferred hanging it. As far as propping it goes, you can see I still have my little book up there. I actually just stacked a book behind it and then kind of propped it on there. You could also get one of the little holders, but I don't love that they have where like you can see the metal part here, and then I always feel like it tips them back a little bit too far. So a book is kind of nice to keep it straight up and down more. This is such a cute little faux leather box. This is in that threshold section. This would be great for jewelry or little like toiletries, perfume, that kind of thing in a bathroom too. I love the color of this. I just think it's the perfect little size. And then I also snagged these little trinket like knickknack things. I saw when I was looking at all of her pictures that she tries to just use some different things. So it's not all vases, it's not all plants. There's just like a lot of variety. So that's kind of what I was going for. So I snagged this little hourglass, and then I actually had this clock already from when we used it years past on our shelves from Amazon. It's another large wood piece. I like the dark wood on this one. This is like a big serving bowl. So this would also be great on a countertop. You put fruit in this, and it was just barely the right size. It was almost too big around for the shelves, but I do like adding a bowl that's different than just vase after vase after vase, just to kind of give it a different shape. Then here's one of the little artificial plants that we grabbed. This one I think was Hearth and Hand. But these are $7, so super good price. I love having these to just stick around. So sometimes I'll put them in a nightstand, in a coffee table tray, on our coffee bar, just something that adds a little bit of color. And I like the, this one kind of hangs down a little bit too. Then one of the best hacks that I found when I was looking for all of her tips for styling shelves is to use a bunch of neutral books that kind of look antique. Well, we don't have any antique books laying around, and we really don't even have any neutral books laying around. The covers were like very bright. So I took all the covers off of them, and some of them I got lucky and they would be brown or gray or something, but some of them were a little bit brighter. So I actually faced every single book that we have in the built-ins to face where the pages are shown instead of the spines being shown, so that it looks nice and neutral. And you have a little bit of a pop of color here, but it's not as bright or overwhelming as the spines. This is another one of the artificial plants. This one's a little bit bigger, so I tried to do a variety of sizes, and I also tried to do a variety of greens. So this one's a little bit of a brighter green, that one's more of a sage green, and then the real ones are kind of an in-between. And I also like the vase on this one, which it came with the vase. And then I love, 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 this is a, let's see what kind of material this is. It feels like pottery almost. I'm not sure. I think it's probably plasticky because it's not really expensive, but it looks and feels like clay or like pottery, and it's so pretty. It's like, it just looks really authentic. And they also have a longer tray version of this. The top right section, we actually had those already from the last time that we tried to style these years ago. So, but you can easily find a similar wicker basket. Just do a smaller size, obviously, than the ones that are on the bottom. And then that vase is from Target a couple of years ago too. Moving over to the other side, I kept the wicker baskets on the bottom, just to kind of keep that uniform throughout. Plus, I feel like by the time you start doing all this, it's really hard to start filling all the spaces. So having 4 large wicker baskets, 4 spots filled is always helpful. Then the next one, I put a bunch of different books, and then I just added this cute little clock that I just snagged at Target. And this has gold on the top, and then it's black, and I just thought it was pretty adorable. Here's a couple more vases, and on the other side, I kind of tried to incorporate some black. I tried to do a little bit of a difference, some wood, some cream, some tan, some black, just to kind of give it some difference in color. But I thought this vase is so, so beautiful. I actually think this could work really well as a full planter too. There's a lot of space in here. So I think this would be beautiful on a porch with some flowers coming out of it, or on like a countertop with some flowers for the spring as well. But it is heavy. This thing is really good quality, and I love all the details on this one. And I think this little black one actually came from Amazon a while back, so I'll try and find a link for this, but I just thought the shape of the two of these together was nice. This is another one of the small artificial plants, and I think, yeah, this one's only $5, so really good find, and it took up some nice space and added some good color. This one we really went back and forth on for a while. I really loved it. Cody wasn't sure about the size of it to begin with because it is pretty big. And first we had it with some other stuff all around it, and then we decided, you know what? I think the size is really good to just have it featured by itself. So I do love the frame on this one. The blue isn't our normal color palette, but I like having just a touch of color added, and it's still neutral enough. And this was also very affordable and has hanging capabilities too. 2 more of the vases that we got. This one's also from Amazon, and it was kind of a different shape. It's almost more like a bowl, which I liked. And then this is also, I think, from that, yeah, this is from that Threshold line. It's that same thing that feels very expensive. It is very heavy, and it's got some like reading to it. So it's just really, really pretty. I love that it has a little bit of texture for dimension. All right, for the last few sections, this is like a huge glass vase. They also had a taller, skinnier version that was in the same color. It's kind of like an amber glass. It's really, really pretty. And then I also snagged this little basket. I thought this was a good thing to add in that isn't wicker, so that it didn't seem like just too many wicker baskets. This one is like a kind of like a cloth, and then it's got little faux leather handles, which worked well with the coloring. Those 3 vases on the top I did have previously, but I think one of them is still available at Target and the other 2 are from Amazon. And then I also snagged this adorable little frame. And you could definitely put your own picture in this if you wanted to. You can take it out, but something about the little plaid I actually thought was really cute. So I left the plaid in there. I thought it was neutral and fun, and I like that this stands on its own. That's a wrap on our shelf refresh for 2024. Shout out to Joanna Gaines for helping me, giving me inspiration. Everything is linked in the video description, and I'll see you next time.